makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part.
Hey man, what are you listening to?
Motivational audiobook.
Really?
Yeah, man. Well, if it makes you feel better about how busy you've been, I'm starting, by the way. If you want to grab the microphone. If you want to pick up the fucking microphone, god damn it, we got a show to do. I found the good intro, by the way. So on the last episode that didn't have any video, and now we got video. Fucking for the no one who cares currently. One day people will be complaining because I'll not upload video, and someday some fucking Reddit nerd is gonna complain. And be like, they didn't upload video. They're getting lazy.
Yeah, I could see people doing that.
Fucking. When we just tried to film our first sketch because we're the most awkward white dudes on the planet.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, I've been busy throughout the week. And it's like, on top of that, you know, my family's dropping like flies, man. And I hate to say that.
What a way to put that.
Well, that's the only way I can fucking put it. Like,
family's dropping like flies.
Because it's true.
I mean, it has been like 2 weeks since the previous death.
Yeah. So what? That makes 5 people in the course of a year.
That's pretty fucking gay.
And we're not even like.
But again, I mean, we've talked about it before. Everyone in your family, for the most part, is fucking ancient. True. Everyone that stays in regular or decent contact with you.
Well, my aunt, which I had stayed in recently, like in good contact with her on Facebook and everything, because I live over in Indiana, and she was in good health. I mean, we're still trying to figure out what happened. But the only details that I got was the neighbor had noticed that nobody had came out of the house or went in for 2 days.
Sick.
So he went and got a ladder, and because there was no response, and he got a ladder and went up to her bedroom window, and that's where he found her. So
hell yeah.
I mean, it's a shame. I mean, my family's been through enough. I mean, they kind of need a break on that.
Yeah, but also, I mean, everyone's just getting up there, man, and there's a crazy thing with what's going on with baby boomers is they either are living to be 100 hooked up to machines, or they're just dropping dead and randomly in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. I think the one that concerns me is just grandpa enduring a lot, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That's 5 people in 1 year. So far.
And I mean, he lost his sister, didn't he?
It was actually my grandma's sister, but they were real close. So,
yeah,
and then
so
obviously,
someone he knows.
Of course, and then, right before that, he lost Uncle Raymond, and, which, I mean, that man will never live that down. That'll bother him till the day he dies, which is understandable. It's his kid, but...
Parents aren't supposed to outlive their kids. It's the age-old saying.
Absolutely not. But the man gets around good for being 87.
I'll
give him that.
He
really
needs to.
does.
The weather's good for it.
Yeah, I mean, he does go down. Yeah, I'm actually going to go check on him when I leave here.
Nice.
So, but I mean, it got to the point the other night, I stayed with him and to keep an eye on him because he was having a real rough day, and he didn't turn the AC on in the house.
Sick.
And it was I looked at the thermostat and it was 87 degrees in there.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, oh my God, it looked like a shower, man.
Yeah, I'm sure his dogs are dying.
Oh, well, believe it or not, the dogs were fine. And they weren't panting or anything like that. But yeah, 87 degrees. And I was like, dude, you got to turn the AC on. And he's like, well, no, just open up some windows, put the fan on, you'll be all right. I'm like, motherfucker. And
I would have just turned it on.
Yeah, that got to be too much. I mean, it's okay, though. But yeah, I'm going to go double check on him. I ain't been over there in a couple days since I left, and
little ant.
But
it's that season. I got to put out traps for him out in the mulch pit.
Yeah, I gotta finish up the yard and and spray for stuff when I get back. I mean, like I said, the dandelions, fleas, ticks. I spray for that shit every year.
Yep. I don't spray any herbicides or pest. I mean, I spray pesticides on the foundation of the house and around all the doorways, but I do that just mostly to keep ants out. It's just that time of year where they're gonna get into your house.
Well, the herbicide that we use is an all natural one, and I didn't even know about it until Dad brought it home one day, and then he's like, yeah, this stuff is really expensive, but it works really good, though, and it's natural. And I'm like, really? And it's called, spruce or something like that, but it works really good, though.
Nice.
Yeah. And, extra points for it being, all natural and all that. But, yeah.
Fair.
But, so what do you got going on?
Well, I fucking hot dogged my thumb on Monday, which was cool. It didn't bleed as much as I was worried it would while I was doing it. I just jammed it right into the edge of a grind belt, so it just took a pizza cut out of my thumb.
I was gonna say it looked pretty gnarly. The picture you sent me.
It dug into my nail bed, which sucks cock. And when I first washed it, it was way wider because it was fresh, and my thumb was splitting apart because I was flexing it. I was just flexing my whole hand. But I was also holding the vein, because your thumb has its own independent vein or artery, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's blood that goes to your thumb. It's got its own independent pulse. So I was cutting that off. So the moment I took my one hand off of it to run it under the water and clean it, it just got super wide, and I was like, oh hell yeah, that looks like the end of a hot dog from a fucking microwave.
Yeah, that thing was pretty fucking gnarly on that picture I'd seen.
Yeah, it sucked cock. And then I just bandaged it up at work and kept working because I was like, I ain't no pussy and I need shmoney, so.
That's why I said just cut it off and be done with it.
Yeah, but I bound it up really tight because I was like, I got to close that gap as much as possible and hope it just knits itself back together, and it's doing pretty good.
So you didn't need stitches or anything?
No.
You should probably just get a bottle of skin glue just to keep in the car.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you use your hands a lot at work.
Yeah, well, I also, they have, all that shit there.
Mm-hmm.
Not skin glue, but, they have, all sorts of, antiseptic bullshit, and then I have skin glue, obviously, here. So when I got home from work and I showered, I dressed it properly, because all I did at work was throw a bunch of fucking salve on it, and then fucking triple Band-Aid it, and then ace bandage the whole thumb, which is the first picture I sent you. It looked like a little cast, and I couldn't use my thumb at work, which is brutal, because, it's a articulated hand job.
Yeah, you don't really notice, how much you actually use your thumbs until it's
until it hurts every time you use your thumb.
Exactly.
And it fucking, because it was the nail bed and part of my nail came off with my bandage after I got out of the shower, I was fucking, every time it got bumped at work, because I was just handling metal parts because they're training me on a different area of the factory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hand loading these fucking aluminum parts into a fucking thing, and I'm wearing gloves and I got it bandaged under the gloves, but every time I fucking rack my thumb on something or I jam it or I accidentally grab something just at the wrong angle, because they're weird shaped shit. We make alternator casings for a crown specifically, which is pretty funny. But there's a billion things they make. There's these little bullshit ground stakes, which are what I was working on. That's how I fucked my thumb up, was working on these 8-inch long aluminum ground stakes that the Army buys and some private companies buy for putting cables in the ground.
Okay.
There's a few Army contracts that job does because the Army always finds the lowest bidder, baby.
My cousin that works at one of the factories out there in Dayton, they make the circuit boards and stuff for the javelins.
Yeah. And
I thought it was pretty cool when he told me that.
The fab shop I worked at in Inglewood, they made brake shoes for fucking F-16s.
Oh man, you did tell me that one day.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, you don't I never really thought about that. It's sat back and thought where all that shit comes from. And I had seen a movie trailer recently, and it's what's wrong?
No, I was just seeing what the recording was at.
Oh.
She's mad.
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's just super excited. She's been excited since the Cohen came off on fucking Tuesday.
Oh, I bet. I mean, I didn't really start thinking about, like, where all the parts and stuff come from. There's a movie, I guess, that's coming out, and it's about a mother that loses her son overseas, and come to find out that the bullet that he was killed with was actually made at the factory that she works at.
Oh, I've heard this plot before. And yeah, which is, I mean, cool plot for a movie.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's different,
Yeah, I like, when it comes to factory movies like that, I'm more of a fucking, what is it, gung-ho? I'm more of a gung-ho guy. Where the Japanese dudes are bathing in the river, and then Michael Keaton takes a bath with them in the river to try and bond with them.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called gung-ho. I'm probably fucking that up.
We talked about that when you were living at the other house.
Yeah, it's just a great movie. I fucking love that movie. It's very heartwarming.
I mean, speaking of the movies and everything, I guess like CinemaCon was the other day, which I didn't really know that was a thing. But I guess they revealed like a bunch of new movies for the year, before that they open it up to show the public. First one was Zach Krieger. I guess he's doing a rendition of Resident Evil they showed,
right.
Which I have mixed feelings about. I don't have high hopes for it because the last bit of fucking movies outside of the CGI ones have been terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the original ones from Paul Anderson are like a guilty pleasure to like watch, but
yeah, but like it's just a hard thing to do, unless you just remake them shot by shot almost.
Well,
and that's hard to do without being cheesy in a bad way.
Well, Welcome to Raccoon City that had come out a couple years ago, that they were on the right track, but that they tried to shove 2 video game plot lines into 1 2-hour movie, and you can't do that. That and some of the casting choice was probably not the best either. And but I guess like Zach Krieger, the one that's doing this, is like he's the director who did the movie called Weapons, which I thought was, I heard was really good.
I was gonna say I haven't seen.
It's
any
like a zombie thriller and everything like that. Come out a couple years ago, but they said it was really good. I just never got around to watching it. But because he made a comment recently, and I think I said this before on the podcast. Like, he said that if he gets this wrong, that the fan base and the community will crucify him for that, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, which I think we've talked about before on here. I'm really a cocksucker about movies, because if I know anything negative about the movie, or just even the most retarded detail, I'm just that much of a cocksucker that I have to lean over and be like, well, actually, if you that scene that they just played, they had to redo that 6 times because he kept fucking up.
I believe that. I mean, I can be the same way.
And it's just because I hate everything that Hollywood does.
Yeah.
And I hate how they push like certain people to just distract from the people that are doing bad stuff.
Oh, of course.
Like Walton Goggins is like a huge actor right now. And I mean, hey, credit to him, he's a phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah.
In the things I've seen him in. I watched the 2 seasons of Fallout, and I did like them because they were really good to the game.
Oh,
They're pretty fucking accurate to the game.
Yeah.
But I also just don't like when they start pushing very specific actors all at once. It's just
like all the time.
All the time, because to me it's just like it becomes like the key dangle that they're always doing.
Yeah, a really good example of that is Pedro Pascal. Like, they were fucking
all over him, and then the second that people were like, what's he doing with all the female actresses? Why is he touching them all funny?
Mm-hmm.
And the second that became controversial, they were like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yep. Like, that's...
Walton Goggins is the new Hollywood hot guy. Here's this 50-year-old. Let's make him look 29.
Yeah, he's I remember first seeing him.
This isn't my opinionated topic, by the way.
What?
The Hollywood wasn't my opinionated topic.
Oh, no, you're good. But I mean, Walton Goggins was really good. I remember seeing him, like, his, like, first notable role was, like, in Sons of Anarchy. the transvestite that he played as, I thought was funny as fuck.
Yeah,
And
which is a weird trend that happens. Is like, because I think that was like his first like big motion.
it was like the big breakout for him. Yeah.
And he had to fucking be a transvestite. That's like in the 80s. Hear me out. In the 80s, all the Hollywood hot guys were fucking drag queens in
oh, that one movie. I know which one you're talking
Fu Manchu.
It's
or
got
some bullshit. It's got some weird name.
It's got
Patrick
Wesley
Swayze,
Snipes,
Wesley Snipes,
and Patrick
and then
Swayze.
another white dude, I think.
Yeah.
But it's God, I think it's the 3 drag queens that like beat up some lady's abusive husband. I can't remember. It's like Fu Manchu or some bullshit. Again, I'm fucking that up probably. That might be Gung Ho. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Kara knows because it's like a drag cult classic, and she's a fag hag.
Well, look what Willem Dafoe did in like the Boondock Saints. Like, he
that's awesome.
Up in that. Yeah. Oh, he killed that fucking role.
Yeah, he also, here's the thing, is he also dressed up as a coked out detective would dress up as a transvestite to try to get after somebody.
He did.
So that's because his acting throughout that film, like during the firefight scene when he's investigating it, he's just clearly on so much coke.
Oh, yeah, you could tell. Yeah.
And if he's not, maybe you should give him some and see what he can really do.
I mean, because he did. He fucking nailed that part, man. Like, it was fantastic, and it's iconic, and to, say the least.
Oh, yeah. But in the shittiest transfer ever, what's your hill you want to die on? Because I'll start.
I was trying to give that some thought, and I may have to get back to you on that one.
Get back, you suck.
No, like I really did think.
Dude, it's so. Let me just give you my example because my intent is for it to be mildly outlandish. Teachers fucking suck, and it's a pointless job. If you are a teacher, specifically public school teachers, you're a fucking moron. You're either a moron or a pedophile. That's my stance, and I will defend this.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask you, why do you feel that way?
If you gave a fuck about the kids that you have to put up with the most shit possible from, if you gave a fuck, you would actually give a fuck about the curriculum. And I know there might be some that do. There are some that do. But there are also a lot that have nervous breakdowns in front of 12-year-olds because they're having problems in their personal lives.
Exactly.
And they're not trained to deal with children on that scale properly.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you on that.
Because they wanted to stay in school and get a degree in teaching.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you because the way that it is now is totally different than what it was 10, 15 years ago. And I say that because of the way that the kids and teenagers and all that treat the teachers, but they want to put up. They decide to put up with that shit.
I so disagree because kids were fucking mean when I was in school.
Oh, same here. Yeah, they were like, dude. If
listen to me.
Oh, dude, it was all
Listen
hell.
to me. The second that teachers are not allowed to beat kids anymore with a paddle, which some people don't even know is a thing, by the way, that was a thing. If you didn't know that. That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
That's also Meadowdale.
Well, it wasn't just Meadowdale. It was Vandalia.
That tracks.
Now,
they're fucking Catholic.
I mean, the parents had to sign off on it.
That's
obviously.
insane. Was it the principal or any teacher?
It was the principal. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. That's hilarious. That tracks because I think the same thing is going on in Texas.
Because it was that way. You could decide to have your kid actually disciplined that way, but both parents had to sign off on it.
Yeah. So, and here's why I think that's insane. For me, my uncle, I think, was the last person in Kentucky to get paddled when he was a child, but he was also like 15 when he got paddled, and I think they were like, "This is too much." I think he was literally like an example of them being like, "This is too much."
Well, a lot of it.
This is a 15-year-old that I just bent over my knee and hit with a wooden paddle with drills holes drilled in it.
The thought of back when I was in school and they allowed that, it was the thought of knowing they were able to do it. would not necessarily do it.
Would be the deterrent.
Yes, like a deterrent.
So, my mom, I know, she would get hit with a ruler on her hand.
My mom's told me that's happened to her. Yeah.
Because my mom was a lefty naturally, but that's the devil, because it was Kentucky. So she had to learn how to do everything with her right hand, and she would get fucking wrapped to the ruler every time. And that's not that long ago. My mom was born in 1980.
That reminds me, it makes me think of that fucking, exactly, the American Dad episode where Francine's like a lefty and like they show flashbacks. Her getting hit with a ruler, and it's like that was the devil's,
Yeah, no, that's legit. That happened to my mom in Kentucky. That's just retarded.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy church people everywhere. But so this is why I think that they're fucking retarded or pedophiles, is because knowing everything that's going on, and this can, if it ruffles your feathers too much, let's just say this is the teachers' union. Are all either pedophiles or retards, or they're just embezzling money. Because if the teachers' union gave a fuck about teachers at all, they would be the ones checking this bullshit curriculum that's just destroying kids right now and creating a radical right-wing fucking Nazis, which I'm going to get to because I work with a couple.
Well, look at,
It's pretty nuts.
Look at our nephews. Like, you go talk to them.
Oh, they're fucked, dude.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't learn about this no more in school. And they don't talk about none of the, like, history that we learned.
No, even the history that we learned is retarded because everything that we learn is wrong about, like, North America and the discovery and who was doing everything. Because the Spanish were here fucking so long before the English were colonizing.
You're right. And it's a pick and choose basis on that, but they don't teach them like about anything like what happened with the Civil War or the American Revolution. No, they don't teach them none of that. World War I, World War II. They don't know any of that shit.
No, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because they learn all that stuff through movies. If you want to learn what World War II was like, you just watch Saving Private Ryan. If you want to know what Vietnam was like, you watch fucking Forrest Gump. That was the 70s in a nutshell. Yeah, exactly. You just watch movies, and that's what people think is history about these wars. And then, like, it's because now all the Vietnam vets, like Raymond, are fucking dying or dead. Mm-hmm. And so, like, there's no one to contradict that anymore.
Well,
and the only people that are making, like, a loud voice for, like, current wars veterans and their bullshit movies is, like, liberal pussies.
Yeah. Well, they don't teach them about any of that stuff. And you're right. The curriculum, they don't go through and actually try to make sure that it's done right. And a lot of the subjects that they do are bullshit. They're more concerned about fucking telling a kid, oh, well, you're at the age where you can decide your gender and everything like that. They're more concerned about that than they are anything.
Well, that's part of it, yeah. And that's just because that's the most recent fad. And they've been, since we were in school, they've been on trying to stop people from doing anything but being accepting. And I think part of the problem is that, like, you gotta let kids fucking scuffle and bully each other. That's part of growing up.
Yeah, you're right.
And if there are kids that can't deal with the little bullying, that's when the teachers step in.
Agreed.
Before they go pick up a gun at their dad's fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
But, like, that's part of the problem as well, is these teachers are just not helping the environments in which clearly there's shit going on. And it's just, like, clearly these kids are getting bullied. And the teachers don't give a fuck unless it's in self-preservation.
Well, I don't know what would possess anybody to become a teacher nowadays because, for one, like what we said, look at some of the stuff, especially the ones that are in high school. Like, look at the shit that they put up with on a basis.
Oh, yeah.
With the kids and the way they act. And the parents are like, fuck it. They'll let them do whatever they want when it comes to that. They don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, it's also because the kids can just call the cops on their parents.
That too. And then, they don't.
Which I think is like an empty threat.
Unless you're like a professor working at a university, you're not really going to get paid the amount in which you should put up with on a daily basis.
Oh, no, and you're also not going to have any defense from the school if anything happens with a student. Like, because some of these kids nowadays, especially the white trash kids, and I hate to say it, the African Americans, or as the U.S. Census would call them. I'm not going to say it. But especially with some way some of these kids are acting like they're fucking hot shit because the internet hypes them up or for whatever reason, or they get brainwashed into thinking that they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
It's these teachers just have no incentive and no defense to do anything. And if they really wanted that to change at all, if they really gave a fuck about the system, they would just stop teaching.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm mad at them, and I think they're gigantic pussies. They suck, they're retarded, or they're pedophiles, and they just don't care, and they put up with all the bullshit because they're trying to touch little boys or girls.
You're right. I completely agree with that.
And it happens, there's a new story every week about some lady sleeping with a fucking kid, or some dude trying to get fucking tit pics from a goddamn 15-year-old.
Yep.
Getting caught saying something crazy, and then on the internet, and then they have to release an apology. And those people shouldn't be defended.
No.
But they never should have gotten into that position in the first place. It's dealing with children. If the reason why teachers exist currently without changing the system at all is because they're either retarded and they're fine with it, or they're pedophiles and they're exploiting the system.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, there's a few diamonds in the rough. There might be good teachers every now and then. You read stories about it on the internet, and it's a feel-good story because it's fucking rare.
Yeah, it is. You know, there's a handful...
You're fucking gay.
There's a handful of teachers that I remember growing up that were, like, actually made an impact on me or somebody else that were...
They're few and far in between.
Yeah, it was very rare. And... I do remember...
Especially in lower-end public schools.
Yeah, well, I remember...
Even in Vandalia, which is a higher-end public school.
Like, even when I went to Vandalia, I could still remember some of those teachers in there being like, you know, real fucking pervy and shit like that towards the girls. And then, you know, you would say something and nothing would ever get done about it. Like, and it
yeah,
was
of course.
a shame.
Because it's your word against theirs.
Of course.
And you're a child. And you're just jealous that the girls are talking to the male teacher.
Yeah. But I agree with you 100% on all that, man. I mean, you said it best on that.
And that was my mildly outlandish topic. Teachers are fucking useless, and they suck because they're retarded. So, on top of, now that that's done, I saw the dumbest fucking human being possibly today.
Okay.
I was getting gas this morning, and this fucking fat retarded dude in like a clearly construction like green, like clearly going to his construction job, driving like a piece of shit pickup truck. And I have no room to talk about piece of shit trucks. I drive pod racers all the time.
Yeah. I get it.
But this motherfucker, while he was pumping gas, was eating food, a sandwich that he kept setting back on top of the gas pump. He set it on top of the gas pump. He like checked his phone, and then he took a bite. Bare breakfast sandwich, not in the wrapper. No wrapper, no napkin, just raw on top of the fucking gas pump at Speedway.
Oh yeah. Look, man, I both of us have worked in a garage. Like, we had food and ate, and around, doing oil and all that. But that's a little different compared to that.
Dude, that's like there's bird poop up there, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna die.
That's what I mean.
You should die. You should die. But I mean, it's just I was just mouth agape staring at him for probably 1 second, and then I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta finish pumping gas. I gotta get out of here. I had to go to work, or I got thrown to the wolves in terms of like loading bullshit, because the guy that I was semi-training with all week is gone. He was gone today, and he'll be gone Monday. But I completed my task, and then I left. I definitely left early. I left at 1, because fuck them. That's 44 hours.
Well, like I told
I work
you,
9-hour shifts.
When I was on the way here...
And I asked if I'd get in trouble, and he said no.
Oh, that's good at least.
And I was like, and when I left, he was like, "You don't feel good, right?" And I was like, "No, I don't feel great."
Well, I can say, like, on my way here, I don't know if this girl had, like, hit something on the road or whatever, but that's what it looked like. It was a
Eat
black
shit.
Hyundai Sonata. And, I mean, there was a fucking oil trail just all the way behind that car, man. And all the way behind
My hat.
that car.
But yeah, fuck 'em.
Didn't see none.
Yeah, I mean, fuck those. Hopefully, Kara doesn't get stuck on that.
Yeah, 127 is a fucking
I'm probably about to
mess.
text her and let her know that there's a fucking heads up. 127 sucks.
Yeah, they've got it like down to one lane for like 2 or 3 miles.
Nice.
And it's not even like in the middle of the lanes. It's like on the shoulder that you have to drive on.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
Well, I agree.
But yeah, that was it's a slightly better camera, dude. I think the picture's a little clearer. The camera lens is a little wider, so we can scoot back more. I just like propping my feet up because I'm a piece of shit. But we can scoot back more and do more like this. Yeah. So it's funny you talking about how they don't learn about the Civil War, the Revolutionary Wars, because I literally have spent the last 2 weeks at work listening to Revolutionary War transcripts and like audiobooks at work, because they're the only things on YouTube that are like 8 hours long, 9 hours long, just like parts of books. It fucking rocks, dude. It's a little dry, but it fucking rules, because it's kind of like they'll be like, the rebels secured 6 mortars of 12-inch diameter, along with 74 pounds of shot, iron shot. They also secured 1 ton of gunpowder.
That does sound pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And then like they lightly go over battles and stuff, and like I'm doing and it talks about like Benjamin Franklin going first to Quebec to help with the Canadian invasion. And it talks about like Colonel Benedict Arnold and all that bullshit. It's funny why he became a traitor is after he came back from the Canada campaign, where they successfully repelled a British counterattack. We didn't take Canada, but it was pretty nice how they defended the Great Lakes and repelled a British counterattack. At least harassed the British enough so that they left, which is pretty funny. But after they got back, Benedict Arnold got accused of treasonous actions. By disobeying direct orders, and then I think he was convicted, or he ran out, and they found he was in court, presiding over a court martial of someone else, and one of the people that was like the jury was like, "Didn't you fucking disobey orders?" And he was essentially like, "You're fucking retarded. I did my job to the best of my ability," and then he fled court, and they found him in contempt. And so he became a traitor.
Oh, God.
But to his defense, his wife died while he was fighting for the revolution, and he had 5 kids that his sister had to take care of or some shit.
That's enough to make anybody crash out at that point.
Yeah, and then he went and conquered Canada, like, partially, and then he asked for help, and he didn't get help for, like, a year. And then he had to basically run away from the British because they had a bigger boat army that they were just barely able to, like, bounce away.
It's amazing if, like when you get the chance and you can read into all of that, you'll find out a hell of a lot of stuff that you didn't know, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that Ben Franklin, known as Dr. Franklin at the time, went all the way up to fucking Quebec. That's insane. He was old as shit. He was like in his early 60s at the time. He had gout. He was like fucked up.
I remember hearing that somewhere.
They were all fucked up, dude. They all had like gout and like syphilis and like smallpox was a huge fucking problem. I'm trying to text her to be safe.
Good. Oh, we gotta make a short episode, but that's okay. But
No, it's fine. She's just now getting off work, so she's got to be here. She's gonna be here in like 40 minutes or something. Probably longer since the 127's retarded.
Well, I was recommending that too because I'm fighting to stay away.
Oh, that's fair. But he was old as they were all fucked up. Like there were times where like British officers that were like bedridden from like fucking gout seizures or like kidney stone problems because they're all just super fucked up. And they would be like, I need 6 men to carry me in the battle so I can lead the brigade. It's just like, no, dumbass. What are you doing? This is why you're getting fucked up by a bunch of retarded farmers.
You imagine, like, being over where you were and, like, you guys are, like, carrying the commission officer, like, into fucking battle orders.
So, at one point in my army career, we did carry someone around on a litter like they were on a throne, and we got yelled at because they were like, we don't fucking do that here. Which is very funny to me.
Making it act like they're Xerxes or something like that.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were doing. But it was like an abuse of power, technically. But, because the guy we were doing it to was a higher rank. But we were doing it as a joke. But no, so like these fucking, like, the British would, all the loyalist governors, that didn't like convert over to help the colony, mostly southern states like Georgia and the Carolinas. The governors got chased out of their towns during the revolution, like shortly, like a year before the Declaration of Independence. They got chased out of their towns, and they were living on boats, English boats that were parked off the coast that couldn't get on land because the fucking rebels would come fuck with them.
Of course.
So all the loyalists were like writing to the British being like, yo, send fucking like 300 dudes. I'm gonna crush this army of farmers. They're fucking dumb. And then like the British were super broke at the time. This is part of the reason why we won. And so they had to like make brand new ships and like try to raise new soldiers. And so they hired like a bunch of mercenaries. And the mercenaries just started raiding people instead of defeating the fucking farmers' army. So the loyalists started getting pissed. They were like, what are you doing? You're fucking me. You're raiding my farms. They would be like Scottish Highlanders, like dudes with straight up swords.
That's what I mean. Like, people don't really understand like how much actually went on like during that time until you really look into it.
There were dudes in kilts carrying great swords running through the Carolinas, killing rebels and then raiding all the local farms. Dudes with great swords in the 1700s.
Yeah, that is
just raping and pillaging the lower Americas.
It's fucking crazy.
And then there were Germans, Hessians.
I believe there was pretty much just a little bit of everybody, really, in that sense.
They were the Germans, the loyalists forced a bunch of German like immigrants to fucking fight alongside the Hessian mercenaries that Germany sent to help the crown. That's insane.
Nobody liked the British back then, dude. Everybody.
No, so that's what's crazy is back on in like Ireland and in like the UK, the whole island, they only over the course of like 12 weeks or something, they recruited like 6 soldiers for their campaign. So that's why they were like, fuck, we gotta hire mercenaries.
Yeah.
And this book had like letters from the king that he was writing to himself because he was fucking autistic, and he just constantly wrote his journal like to the time. Like every time he would get letters of intercepted so let me do this a little better later. But essentially there's a lot more to the revolution than I knew about, than I ever learned about.
Oh, yeah. Nobody
really talks about how the southern colonies were like, no, we're not helping the fucking guys up in Philadelphia. Fuck that shit.
They didn't really want to help. That's what I mean. A lot of people don't understand, like, it was a very mixed reception, like, back then, of what people would do and what they wouldn't. Because a lot of them were like, well, fuck, no, we don't want to get involved with that. Like, yeah. But then it was like the other amount of people were like, yeah, we're fucking doing this.
Dude, the Southern Loyalists, armed, and the British armed, like, a brigade of slaves for their freedom and called them Ethiopian Brigade. Because a lot of them were warriors sold from Ethiopia after they lost battles and stuff. That's just how the trade. That's how the slave system worked in Africa. You lost your battle, you got sold. Like if you got captured, she's just turning around in her cage. But fucking.
It's a hell of a reason to fight.
Yeah, so they were offered their freedom to the king in exchange for allegiance to King George. And then they just got fucking mollywopped. And so when the British did that, everyone on the rebel side up in the north too were like, they're arming slaves. They're gonna fucking destroy all the white people, because like 10 years prior, a massive slave revolt had happened and killed a bunch of people. So the colonies had the reason they hadn't armed militia before the British and like dispute was because they were scared of a slave revolt.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty crazy.
It does.
It's very insane. Read up on stuff. I'm gonna do the War of 1812 next. Maybe on like a later video or a separate podcast thing, I'll like actually talk about the Revolutionary War in more detail, where I take notes. It'd be a pretty good episode to do that. Yeah. But we can end this here because we got the sketch that I'll tack onto this.
That's true. Yeah, we do.
And I'll post it separately because I'm gonna make it separately and then add it to this before I post this.
I have things.
But we got the camera.
I got things set up to where that we could probably do our streaming this weekend.
Nice. I was actually tomorrow. I'm probably gonna show up and dig up those stones at like 8 in the morning. I'll just do it by myself.
It'll give me a reason to get up.
Yeah, because I got to drop her off in Huber for grooming at 7:30.
That's fine. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then you do that. I'll wake up. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking to try to do the streaming on there, so to give us a little bit more content, and like what we talked about, like playing a co-op game, like. So.
Yeah, and I can. Just let me know when you're ready to set that up, and then I'll do my end.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, later, guys.
Later.
Bye.